Boys and girls, can we sing at the same time as playing? Can we sing at the same time as playing? You sure? You really sure? Ready?
Good morning, everyone. Wonderful to see you all. Wonderful to see such a full and busy room with a great buzz. So I'm actually going to kick off, first of all, by introducing myself, Jean Carwood-Edwards, Chief Executive of Early Years Scotland. And thank you to all of you for making this your Saturday morning activity. Fantastic. And the very first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to take literally a minute, so that's probably like 6 seconds each person around the table, just to say hi to each other. Maybe just say your name and where you're from. And I'm just going to give you 1 minute to do that, because there's nothing worse than sitting for a whole morning thinking, I'm sure I've met her somewhere before. So off you go, 1 minute to introduce yourselves. Okay, so it is my great privilege and pleasure to introduce our chair for the day, a woman who genuinely needs no introduction, as Kirsty is one of Britain's most well-known, experienced presenters, journalists, broadcasters, writers, Kirsty Wark. And Kirsty has been in a plethora of programmes, as well as the BBC's flagship Current Affairs News Night. You will all know Kirsty from many different places, including the final of Celebrity MasterChef and all sorts of other things. Kirsty's also won several awards for work, BAFTA awards, for example, for outstanding contribution to broadcasting, Journalist of the Year, Best Television Presenter, and so on. Kirsty was born in Dumfries, educated in Kilmarnock, and has lived in Glasgow for many years with her husband and 2 children. Kirsty is also a writer of a novel, The Legacy of Elizabeth Pringle, and nobody's told me to say this, but I genuinely would say if you haven't read that, then it really is a must-read. So I have great pleasure then in saying when I, for example, last night when I switched on the telly and there was Kirsty on Newsnight in London and has hot-footed it up here this morning to chair our conference. And I would like to share with you that Kirsty, although she'll probably not like me saying this, but completely donating her fee straight back to our charity. So I'm delighted to hand you over to Kirsty.
Thank you very much. I think the most important thing to say straight away is that Jean's my next door neighbour. Anyway, I am delighted to be here among so many people passionate about giving children the best start in life. And I'm also keen to explore a lot of the forward thinking that's being done by Early Years Scotland. I don't think there's many education conferences where there's a waiting list. But actually, this conference literally has doubled in size, which is not only testament to the work that Early Years Scotland is doing, it's the commitment of people like you to advance your thinking on how best to help children and support families in Scotland and elsewhere, because I understand there's people from outside our borders. Remember, we want your phones on silent. We'd like you to capture your tweets on hashtag EYS15. My job is to try to make sure all of you who want to contribute during this day, and indeed I am only here in the morning, can get a chance to do so. Today we will look to the future. I'm sure all of you know that if the SNP government is returned in Scotland next May, there'll be a doubling of support for children from 3 to 4 and an expansion of support from children who are 2. That means a huge expansion of the workforce and actually more work. And those of you who do training as well, more training work for you. However, more of that later on. Also, we'll be hearing about the Marte Mayo approach introduced here this morning for the first time in Scotland, actually used in more than 43 countries. So I hope this morning is going to be both stimulating and rewarding for you all. I'll tell you right now that when it comes to the break, I'm going to make you go out and come in really, really fast because we've only got 15 minutes. So we want to have as much time for conversations, debate this morning. And I begin now by asking you to welcome the Chair of Early Years Scotland, Barbara Dale.
It's all about daily interaction moments. That makes the quality of care. When you are able to see developmental initiatives or contact initiatives of children, and you can give a good response on that, the intelligence of the response on such an initiative of the child makes the quality of care. So when you have a good eye, and that's why it's so helpful when you use video, because you develop a good eye. Because small things, especially children who need it the most, don't have the most clear initiatives. So you must have a special eye to look at it. And when you can give a reaction what's supportive, we call it the Marte Mayo supportive communication elements, then the child has so much more opportunities to develop. And what I think, what's also a key message, the second, is share the information with the parents. We do it in my Marte Mayo program. We do it with the Marte Mayo Parent Invitation Program. Like I showed this morning at the conference, that we invite the parents. We invite the parents not to share the problems. Your child is hitting, your child is aggressive. But we as professionals read the developmental message behind this special behavior. He wants to join in, but he doesn't know how. So he is hitting other children or disturbing the play, because then you're also part of it. But of course the message is, I would like to be part of it. And then we, with the developmental checklists from Marte Mayo, we check with the developmental checklist, what did he not develop yet to be able to make friends, to play with other children. Then we check that and see, he did not develop yet having play ideas and having words with it, so that you can present your play idea. Then you are attractive for another child. So it's very important to read that message and then to share with the parents, not that special behavior, but share with them the information on supporting development. Like we have seen this morning from the boy from Australia, who didn't have play ideas, was aggressive, breaking the toys, didn't have friends after 4 months. We filmed him, and we did read, he doesn't have enough words, he doesn't have a play idea. How does it come? Then we showed to the parents he is interested to other children. His next step in the development should be that he has play ideas and words connected to that, because that he needs to invite other children to play with him. The parents were very interested because they said, in the daycare here in the preschool, we use a special program to help him to develop that. So the parents think, hey, but that's good, that they do extra support to Damien. And then they saw what we meant, and then they said, can we do that at home too? Then we always say, when you should join us, he has the best chances. So the parents feel, I'm invited. And then you see also, when you film at home, who is taking the initiatives in the play? It's the papa. The papa tells, we do this and we do that and we build a bridge and we do. And then you must help the papa to develop, to understand that children in free situations, that I also think is very important in care, need space to take their own initiatives. That you not tell them you play like this and now you do that. That must be done too in structured situations. But in free situations, children have the opportunity to develop their gold mine. So when we could explain to Papa that he could wait for the initiatives of the boy, that he then develops play ideas, when Papa should say then, you put the bridge in the other way, then Damien thinks, when my Papa loves this idea, my friends at the daycare will love it too. So, and I think that's so important. We have seen on the film how Papa, after 4 months, himself with his own words can say how they now actually can play 1.5 hours like that. And that he actually can make a bound now with his boy. And we see it, of course, in the daycare and the preschool, that he makes friends, he can play, and it's not only for this moment. What I showed this morning is that what you learn and what support you get from your parents and the daycare workers, people in early childhood, that is what you go to use later. I call it the golden gift. So I think that's the most important part.
I think it's been a stunning conference, and I think it's amazing that early years people will give up their Saturdays and come and participate in something like this. I think the key messages for me are around, we don't want compliant children, we want feisty, strong, adventurous children. And what I'm going to say this afternoon ties in, I think, really well with Maria's presentation this morning. If you don't engage with parents, then you're only engaging with this much of the family, and most of what you do will not embed, will not be sustained. And you have to change your professional practice, I think, and learn to co-construct services with parents. It's not about doing things to people. It's certainly not about doing things to poor families, not having middle-class notions about imposing stuff on other people. It's about working with people and engaging with people effectively. There isn't a parent in the universe who doesn't want more for their child than they had themselves. There isn't a parent who won't give time. If we play videos of our children at nursery in the evening and have a sharing session with parents, they all turn up. And that's after a shift. That's up before they go on a shift. Parents really care about their children, and we have to harness parents' energy. If we fail to do that, then we will never shift the gap between the rich and the poor in this country, and we need to work in a different way. We can't go on doing more of the same. So every professional has to think hard about today's conference and think about what little differences can I make, respectful relationships with the children's parents, recognising that if you work with a child, you need to work with all the important adults in a child's life.